All right, shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel, shalom. All right, this is Brother Kazaki out of Great Millstone, New Orleans, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? But prior to getting started, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? And the title of today's lesson is going to be Do Not Enter Wrong Way slash Just Say Something, right? The title of today's lesson is going to be Do Not Enter Wrong Way slash Just Say Something. And I'm going to go on a quick background and give basically like a couple quick testimonies, just real quick, on how demons basically mess with you, and things of that nature. Because Yahweh Shem Shai, he knows better than you. Okay. And as we, walk the world, right, walk the paths of the world, right, those demons are always constantly trying to get at us. They're constantly trying to bring us out of our character, out of who we are, of so-called forced more reactions, because you go basically kind of numb to them, right? Okay, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that, or I know how to trigger this guy and or trigger that guy. And I'm going to give two quick, well, technically three, but three quick things that's happened to me, within the last, which, brothers, don't get me wrong, brothers have a million and one things, happening to them, 24/7 or whatever. But I'm gonna give mine's really quickly, and then my final one will get me into a little bit more into the lesson, okay? And my character and temperament is just like I move around the world. I don't say much. I don't speak to a lot of people. I'm in and out for the most part, and things of that nature. When things happen, I'm more quiet, and I just I don't say anything. I don't try to go for confrontation, which or anything like that. But like these demons, they'll try to force you into confrontation. I'm gonna give three really quickly. I was taking my first one is I was taking one of my a couple of my if you have some yalads or whatever, yaladium. I don't know. I think it's yaladium with children. All right. And I have a son who Esau's his claim is like, the word would be autistic, but we know it's just demons, right? That plagues the mind. Lord willing, my son can revert back to basically a stable mindset is what I'm, saying. But he's playing with some kids over at the place. They call it like a space jump place, altitude or what they call it. I forgot the name of it, but it's basically like it's the place's name, altitude or whatever. It's where the kids run around, they jump, they do flips, whatever the case may be. And it was this old Edomite man. He was real old. Okay, he was sitting in a chair or whatever, and his I guess his granddaughter was playing on one of the TVs or whatnot, and then my son came to come play on the TV or whatever. He's just running around, whatever, being a kid, all the rest of that kind of stuff. But the TV was the game that she was playing was a one player game. One person, could only play at a time, and he had shades on, but his demeanor and his anger and his everything about him just got so upset, like, and he will he just started yelling and screaming at my son, and it really pissed me off. Like, it really it pissed me off to the point where it almost brought me out of character, you know because it was the kind kind of like the vibration, the spirit behind it. It was like, I'm like, damn, is he gonna do something, or what? Like, what's going on with that? Like, and when he saw me walk up, in that moment, because I was coming to, grab my son, he apologized. Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Um, you know, I'm just trying to be fair. Just that's it, man. I'm just trying to be fair because I had that look in my eye because it's like I said, it's my son, man, and there's a lot of people there, so it almost really warranted a reaction out of me, man. So I grabbed my kid saying I just walked away. Go to um, basically the second point. Um, Again, real quick, I was going into Walgreens. They had an Eve in Walgreens, right? And she was, checking out people, doing, her normal thing and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And, it was, everything was all cool. So I went around, I grabbed a few things and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And she had finished checking out everybody else, started stocking stuff up. And I basically was heading, toward the checkout. And, you know, she looks and says, and this, it's, it's crazy, man. But she looks and just like, in a most derogatory way was like, yeah, what are you checking? Like, what are you using, cash or card? And I'm like, damn. I'm like, why is she so upset with me? She was just smiling with all these Edomites and all these different people. What's this all about? I said, I don't get it. I didn't do anything, right? And I was like, I'm just go ahead and I'm gonna pay with card. And then she goes and proceeds to say, oh, they got a self checkout right there that works just fine. And the shit made me so mad, man. It really pissed me off, right? But again, I didn't want to come out of character, go off on her and lead establishment, all that kind of stuff, because I knew I'd be back there, right? Or whatever the case may be. All right. So I just gradually sat the things that I had down on a self checkout and just walked out. Okay. And I was like, because that was, it was rude and uncalled for and all the rest of that kind of stuff. All right. Which brings me into my final point. Okay. I was going into an establishment, going to the store or whatever. And this is going to tie into the lesson. Okay. And I was like, and I'm basically saying, these demons, they be on people and they warrant and really want and forcibly try to get a reaction out of you, right? That's what they really want, right? And it's just a spiritual demon, Satan, hopping on person to person to person. So this old elderly Edomite lady was backing out of a spot. She was a taxi driver. I don't know how the hell she was a taxi driver because she was terrible. It took her forever to back out of the spot. I made a turn into the establishment, and I'm waiting on one side of, it's a two-way parking, right? It's two-way road, so to speak, to park. You can park on the right, you can park on the left. All right. And, I don't know whether she was upset because the other car was kind of like, what the hell is she doing or whatever. But I'm patient. I'm a very patient person and things of that nature. And I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't doing anything. I just was just waiting for her to come out. And I can see this lady, she's pointing from in her car. She's pointing a finger and she's doing stuff. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And she rides up because the lanes are narrow. She rides up, rolls down her window, and she start talking to me. And I'm like, okay. I roll down my window. I start, and her, she's like, yeah, this is a one way. She's like, you're going the wrong way. Okay. And I'm I'm like, nah, this is a two way. This parking lot, this area in specific goes both ways. And then she proceeds to say, she's like, no, it doesn't. No, it's not. She's like, you're going the wrong way. And from that point on, I had choice words for her, but she began to drive away. But at the same time, I'm like, do it, I start going off on a lady, in my own way, ranting like, man, get out of my, get out of my way, get the hell out of here, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. You could barely drive, go on, the audacity, but, I said all that, to say this after I sat down and thought about it. And I thought about the situations, and it's just multiple situations like that over and over and over and over and over again. And I thought about it. I was just like, yeah, just Satan wanting to reaction, because that woman was nothing but a pure demon, an old ass Edomite. You know what I'm saying? It really pissed me off, and I was, all I could do was think about all the ways that, she was wrong and her people were just wrong. That's all I could think about. At the time, I was like, man, your whole nation is wrong. The concept of you even existing isn't right. You know what I'm saying? You was created to be wrong. It's just, I just kept going on and on and on in my mind, and it pissed me off so bad. It brought me to this lesson where I can honestly say I can't wait for these devils to get their judgment. Man, I cannot wait, man. Okay, because this is you. This is you, Esau. This is you. Do not enter wrong way, right? Because what happens when you enter the wrong way? Bad things happen, man. Okay, accidents happen. Okay, but you and your people have completely entered the wrong way, and you caused a chain reaction of all kinds of evil and wickedness and wrong within the earth, man. And your ass is going to pay for it too, man. Okay? Just like that old ass Edomite telling me she said it's a one way. It's not a one way. Okay? It's a two way. All right? But you're going the wrong way. Right? And spiritually speaking, your people, man, her too, included. All right? Now let's go get this here real quickly. Sorry about it was so long, but I just wanted to explain those things, to get to these points, man. All right. And it says, just Obadiah 1 and verse 9, it says, and thy mighty men of Teman shall be dismayed to the end that everyone, I want to say this is every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Okay. Every one of the mount of Esau, you Edomites, you so-called white people, will be cut off by slaughter. And this is the time frame that we're waiting on. And Yahweh Bashim Shah cut you white people off by slaughter, man. If you're definitely in Babylon the Great, if you're Edomite in Babylon the Great, you're finished, man. You're done. It's over. It's over for you. Okay. Now I'm gonna jump down here real quick. All right, this is verse 15. It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, right? That includes that old ass lady in the parking lot. As even if she make it that long, she probably won't. Who knows? All right, but it says, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Right, because she had pride on her too. She just, you know what I'm saying? She just knew she was right. And I'm, just a regular degular day. I'm like, dude, you're wrong, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, and it's crazy because even the person behind her, which was also an Edomite, the person behind her looked at me and was like, I don't know. She gave me the oh shit. She gave me like the Donkey Kong look. You know how Donkey Kong does his little, he shrugs his shoulders with his arms out. Almost like, I don't know. Like why is she even doing that to you? She doesn't know what she's talking about. And I was just like, it's just fucking demons, man. Just Salakia, But it's just demons, man. Just messing with you constantly. Just messing with you, And you get it, sometimes, a person could only have so much, habits on to where they, they, at least say something, right? She, in that situation, uh, you the way things happen, it was like you're almost prompted to say something. You couldn't get away without saying anything, right? You just had to tell them. You're like, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Okay, but anyway, it says, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all." Okay, so shall all the heathen drink continually, right? The Lord is going to get you damn devils first and foremost, right? What this lesson is really telling me towards, but all you heathen too, man. All you other nations, all y'all gonna get it too, man. Right? You going in damn chains, you going in shekels or whatever, you know, you going into hard bondage and servitude, man, forever. You know, and like I said, only, I say this before, but you know, Esau, Edom, the Edomites is the only nation that's not going to bounce back or recover. The Lord is literally going to destroy them, which is going to say here in just a second. Okay. All right. It says, yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. And it says, but upon Zion shall be deliverance. So the Lord is going to save the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay. And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. All right. And it says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Right. You're going into the Israelites. Okay. The third or 1/3, the elect. The northern and southern kingdom. All right. And it says, in the house of Esau for stubble. Okay. And what's stubble? That grit, the basically the residue after the fire, man. After the fire's been, burned, has burned its way through, whatever material. It's the basically the powdery a substance that's left, man. Okay, that residue, right? And it says, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. Okay, for the Lord have spoken it. Right. So you Edomites, your destiny, okay, is to be completely cut off by Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Okay. And he's gonna use the Israelites to do it. The same people you kept down, you kept the foot on their neck. Okay. We gonna put our foot on your neck. Okay. All right. This is Isaiah 14 and verse 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. Right. So a slaughter is being prepared for what? The children, man. Because what does Esau say? Esau says, well, I ain't do it. It wasn't me. That happened 500 years ago. I shouldn't be held accountable for what my fathers did. And, that ain't right. That's not just. It's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new era. Can we all just get along? Hell no, man. The answer's, no. Okay. You got to pay for what your forefathers did. All right. It's just that simple. And he's going to do it by what, man? He's going to use the seed line. He's going to cut the seed line off, really. Okay. All right. And it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Cut off, man. Done. And it says, for I will raise up against Babylon. It's like a raise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant, the son and nephew, saith the Lord. All right. So, this is what the Lord has in store for you Edomites, you know. Okay. This is what you did. You entered into the wrong way. You have completely, you know, went into the wrong path, man. Right? Now, this is by design by Yahweh Shemal Shah, that you will go the wrong way, that you will do wickedness within the earth. Okay, that you will cause all kinds of folly, okay, to go on in the earth, man. You know, that you would deceive the people, right? Through your science, through your technology and your philosophies, man. Okay, but now it's time to pay up. All right, you entered into the wrong way, and now it's time to pay, man. Your time is coming, man. Okay. All right, let's get this here real quick. All right, this is Job 14 and verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined. All right. It said, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Right. So the clock is ticking, man. Okay. You got the little, I believe they call it a doomsday clock or whatnot. All right. And we're so many seconds to midnight. All right. If I'm not mistaken, we're not that, far off. All right. But the Lord has appointed the bounds, okay, that he cannot pass, right? The Lord has given him a certain amount of time, right, to rulership, and he's not going to pass any, he's not going to go longer than what's been allotted for him, okay? And we can't wait for the day the Lord slap these chains on you, man. Okay, we come and pull you the elite from out the bunkers, all right, and put y'all into servitude, right? Because we're basically, in so many ways, slaves now, man. Slated to your system now, right? Because this ain't living, right? The way, we be working, Jake be working his, butt off, man, just to have a means to survive in the economy right now in today's time. And you're not doing nothing but making it worse. Going back into the lesson, man. Okay? You entered into the wrong way, and all your ways are wrong, man. And it's aggravating, Let's go here. All right. Let's go here. We'll read a little bit of this. This is Job 18 and verse 14. It says, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors, man. Okay. So you're being brought forth to the judgment of Yahweh Shemal Shai, the Lord's righteous indignation. Okay. And he's going to use your own technology, your own equipment to do it, right? And his power, right? He's going to add, well, what the world say, insult to injury, man. He's going to, go above and beyond. It's going to be a perfect destruction. All right. And it says, it shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. It says, brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. It says, his roof shall be dried up beneath, and above his branch shall be cut off. Right. This is going into basically you Edomites being cut off. You being destroyed, man. Right. The very essence of what you represent is being destroyed. Right. And it says, his remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. Right. And it, basically, saying that, man, these devils, man, the elect, right, the different children that are reborn or born into the kingdom, they're gonna be looking in that same Isaiah the 14th chapter, saying, man, is this the guy? Like this is the man? There's no way, man. There's no way that this is the guy. This is, that held the nations, at their basically made everybody to fear, okay, and made everybody to tremble, right? Out of all the people, this is the guy. It's going to be unbelievable, because in so many words, it's really unbelievable now, man. You know, it says, he shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. All right. And it says, they that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that had went before were affrighted. It says, such, it says, surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God. Okay, and this is a representation of Esau. All right, he's the one that knoweth not the Lord, man. I told you that Esau, he couldn't repent, man, even though he sought it carefully with tears. So what does that say for his people, right? Because it said what? It said sons. Where is that at? It said he shall have neither son nor nephew among his people. Okay. Right. And in a few chapters over, it tells you, let's see here. Which one do I? It's like it, bear with me. One moment. Let me see. All right, it's like it was chapter 27. This is Job 27 and verse 14. I start at 13. It says, this is the portion of a wicked man with God, right? Okay, like I said earlier, going down that wrong way. All right, do not enter, right? All right. It says, and the heritage of oppressors which shall receive of the Almighty, if his children be multiplied, right? Okay, the scriptures talk about the son, the nephew, being cut off, man. The children being cut off by slaughter, man. All right. It says, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, right? Okay, so you Esau, you Edomites, you so-called white people. Okay, your destiny is to basically be slaves. Okay, and to be cut off eventually, right? And it says his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread, man. And that pretty much, hammers home the point, it's just something that I, wanted to say, and get off. Hey, look, you know, Jake always, got something going on, so to speak. Brothers be having, things going on. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, all kinds of brothers have all kinds of different testimonies and things that happen to them in their daily walk, and things like that, and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, the title of today's lesson, that's all I got. The title of today's lesson is, do not enter wrong way. And this was get up for Esau, Edom, the Edomites, man. All right. You've entered into the wrong, you went the wrong way. You were born to go the wrong way, right? And now your destiny is to go out through the Lord's righteous anger, man. Okay. You sowed nothing but wickedness, and within the earth. And now it's time to reap what you sowed, man. Okay. And yeah, that's, like I said, that's pretty much all I have through the spirit and power. Yahweh Shema Shalom. Willing, this lesson was edifying first and foremost to the whole elect. But prior to getting out of here, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shema Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the whole elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, Kwam Yasha Allah, Baba Ball, and Shalom.